We are back now with a warning for shoppers about recalled shredded cheese that you might have in your fridge right now.
What if the brand you have been driving past on the way to Costco has been quietly beating Costco on quality for years? Not on price, on quality. The 7 Aldi brands on this list have been compared against Costco's most trusted private label products in blind evaluations, ingredient analyses, and nutritional comparisons. Costco lost more of those comparisons than its members would be comfortable knowing. 7 brands. Real comparisons, starting right now. Number 7. Lacura versus Kirkland Signature. Skincare. Costco's Kirkland Signature skincare range carries a reputation that its warehouse pricing and its bulk format have built over years of loyal member purchasing. The reputation is not undeserved. Kirkland Skincare delivers functional ingredients at prices that make the per-unit cost of moisturizing and treating aging skin more accessible than department store alternatives. But Lacura, Aldi's private label skincare brand, has been doing something that Kirkland's skincare team did not anticipate. Winning blind comparisons against Kirkland products conducted by independent skincare reviewers and consumer publications across multiple evaluation cycles. The Lacura Vitamin C Serum specifically delivers L-ascorbic acid at a clinically active concentration combined with ferulic acid and vitamin E stabilizers. That stabilization combination is the same approach used by Skinceuticals CE ferulic, a product retailing at over $160. Kirkland's Vitamin C skincare offering does not use the same stabilization system. The practical consequence is that Lacura's active ingredient remains viable for longer in the formula and delivers the brightening and antioxidant outcomes that make vitamin C serum worth using in the first place. For seniors managing hyperpigmentation, uneven skin tone, and the oxidative skin damage that accumulates with age, the formula that stabilizes the active ingredient most effectively is the formula that produces the most visible results. Lacura wins that comparison, at a fraction of both Costco and department store pricing. The stabilization difference is not a technicality that shows up only in laboratory analysis. It shows up on the face of anyone who uses the product consistently for 4 to 6 weeks. The skin tone, evening, the brightening, and the reduction in the dull, oxidized appearance that sun-damaged and aging skin presents all respond to L-ascorbic acid delivered at a viable concentration. A formula that oxidizes before it reaches the skin delivers none of those outcomes regardless of how compelling the ingredient list appears. Lacura's stabilization system keeps the active ingredient viable. Kirkland's does not do so with the same consistency. Former Aldi employees in the health and beauty section describe Lacura as the brand that generates the highest rate of deliberate return purchasing from seniors who tried it once and never went back to what they were using before. That return pattern is the most honest quality signal available in any product category. A shopper who returns specifically to buy more of a product they tried is communicating something that no marketing survey can replicate. They tried it. It worked. They came back. The transition from number 7 to number 6 involves a category where the comparison becomes even more uncomfortable for Costco. And the specific quality marker involved is one that seniors managing cardiovascular health need to understand before making another bulk oil purchase. Number 6. Specially selected olive oil versus Kirkland Signature. Olive oil. Costco's Kirkland Signature. Extra virgin olive oil is one of the most purchased olive oil products in American retail. The gallon format pricing makes the per-ounce cost calculation immediately favorable compared to conventional grocery store alternatives. For seniors buying in bulk to maximize pantry efficiency, the Kirkland olive oil appears to be the obvious choice. The independent quality testing data suggests otherwise. Kirkland Signature. Extra virgin olive oil has appeared in multiple independent quality analyses conducted by consumer organizations that test whether olive oil products actually meet the chemical and sensory standards that the extra virgin classification legally requires. The results have been inconsistent. Some batches pass. Some batches show oxidation indicators, acidity levels, or sensory profiles that fall below the threshold the extra virgin designation demands. The inconsistency is not a minor quality footnote. It is the difference between a product that delivers the documented cardiovascular and anti-inflammatory benefits of genuine extra virgin olive oil and a product that delivers cooking fat with a premium label attached. For seniors who use olive oil daily as a health-conscious cooking and finishing fat, that distinction has real consequences across months and years of consistent use. Aldi's specially selected extra virgin olive oil has performed differently in comparable evaluations. The cold press process produces the low acidity, fresh aroma, and peppery finish that genuine extra virgin classification delivers when production standards are actually met. The peppery finish specifically is the sensory indicator of oleocanthal content. Oleocanthal operates through the same anti-inflammatory pathway as ibuprofen. For seniors managing chronic inflammation, joint discomfort, and cardiovascular health, the olive oil that actually contains meaningful oleocanthal concentrations is providing a daily dietary intervention that the bottle without the peppery finish is not delivering at the same level. Aldi's specially selected version has that finish, consistently, across multiple independently tested batches. The Kirkland version does not deliver it with the same consistency. The bulk purchase format that makes Kirkland olive oil appear financially superior also introduces an oxidation risk that the smaller specially selected format does not carry to the same degree. A gallon of olive oil purchased at Costco is consumed across a storage period that extends the oxidation window significantly for any household that does not use olive oil at the volume that a gallon requires to be finished before quality degrades. The specially selected format is sized for the consumption rate of most senior households. The oil is fresh when it is used. The quality the senior experiences reflects the production quality rather than the storage degradation that bulk purchasing can introduce. This channel has spent months identifying exactly these kinds of comparisons because the financial and health implications for seniors are significant, and the information is rarely presented in one place. If that kind of specific evidence-based comparison is what you want to see more of every week, subscribing right now ensures you never miss the next breakdown that could save you money, improve your diet, or simply confirm that the store you have been driving past deserves a closer look. Because What Is at number 5 takes the comparison into the supplement aisle, and what the quality testing found there will make seniors who take a daily omega-3 genuinely uncomfortable about where they have been buying it. Number 5. Simply Nature. Omega-3 versus Kirkland. Signature Fish Oil. Kirkland Signature Fish Oil is one of the most trusted supplement purchases among Costco members, and the per-capsule cost at Costco's bulk pricing makes it appear to be the obvious choice for any senior committed to daily omega-3 supplementation. The quality comparison is more complicated than the price comparison suggests. Fish oil quality is determined by 3 variables: EPA and DHA concentration per capsule, oxidation level of the oil at the time of consumption, the triglyceride versus ethyl ester form of the omega-3 delivery. Kirkland's fish oil delivers on the concentration variable. The EPA and DHA per capsule is competitive with other products in the category. Where the Kirkland product has drawn criticism from independent supplement analysts is the oxidation question. Fish oil oxidizes over time, and the rate at which it oxidizes is determined by the freshness of the source fish, the processing method, and the storage conditions between manufacture and consumption. Oxidized fish oil delivers reduced omega-3 benefit and introduces lipid oxidation products that research has flagged as potentially counterproductive to the cardiovascular outcomes that omega-3 supplementation is supposed to produce. The concern is not theoretical. Multiple independent laboratory analyses of consumer fish oil products, including products at premium price points, have identified oxidation levels that fall outside the range that supplement quality standards consider acceptable. The product that tests within acceptable oxidation parameters is the product delivering what the senior is paying for. The product that tests outside those parameters is delivering something less than what the label and the price suggest. Bulk purchasing, which is Costco's fundamental value proposition, means that a senior buying a large container of Kirkland fish oil may be consuming capsules from a production batch that was manufactured months before the purchase, and that will continue to be consumed across a storage period that extends the oxidation window further. Simply Nature's omega-3 offering at Aldi comes in smaller quantities that turn over faster. Faster turnover means the product the senior consumes is closer to its production date. Closer to production date means lower oxidation exposure. Lower oxidation exposure means the EPA and DHA is doing what it is supposed to do, rather than delivering a compromised version of the cardiovascular and cognitive benefits that justified the daily supplementation habit. Former employees in the health section describe Simply Nature supplements as the product seniors return to most consistently after comparing the quality specifications against what they were buying at Costco. The next comparison moves away from supplements and into the kitchen, and what Aldi has produced in this category is making Costco's most loyal food members genuinely reconsider their Tuesday warehouse runs. Number 4. Specially selected cheese versus Kirkland. Signature cheese. Costco's cheese selection is genuinely impressive in breadth and in the per-pound pricing that makes buying quality cheese in bulk an accessible decision for members who use significant volumes of it. The Kirkland Signature cheese range covers the categories most households reach for regularly: cheddar, mozzarella, parmesan, and a selection of specialty options that warehouse format pricing makes more approachable than specialty food retailers. But Aldi's specially selected cheese range has been beating Kirkland cheese in blind taste comparisons conducted by consumer publications, food journalists, and informal tasting panels with a frequency that former Aldi product team members describe as systematic rather than occasional. The aged cheddar comparison specifically produces consistent results. The specially selected mature cheddar is aged to a duration that produces the sharp, complex, crystalline character that mature cheddar enthusiasts specifically seek. The flavor depth and the finish length in blind evaluations consistently outperform Kirkland's cheddar offering among tasters with experience eating quality cheese. The reason connects to the production constraints that volume determines. Kirkland cheese is produced at volumes that require consistency across an enormous quantity of product. Consistency at volume and extended aging duration are objectives that pull in opposite directions. A producer aging cheese to the duration that produces genuine flavor complexity is not simultaneously producing at the volume that Costco's warehouse format demands. The specially selected sourcing model prioritizes the aging duration and the quality of the source milk over the volume consistency that Kirkland's warehouse format demands. The result shows up in the tasting panel. It shows up in the crystalline texture that forms in properly aged cheddar, and that is absent in cheese aged to a shorter duration because the timeline required for those crystals to develop has not been completed. It shows up in the sharp, persistent finish that lingers in a way that younger cheddar, regardless of how it is labeled, does not produce. The specially selected sourcing model is also more flexible than Kirkland's production requirements allow. Aldi can source from smaller producers whose milk quality and aging practices produce exceptional results, but whose volume cannot supply a warehouse chain. Kirkland must source at a volume that most exceptional small producers cannot meet. The result is that Kirkland cheese is consistently good, and specially selected cheese is occasionally extraordinary. For seniors who eat cheese daily and who have the option of choosing between consistent adequacy and occasional excellence at a lower per-unit cost, the specially selected range represents the more compelling offer. If the olive oil comparison and the cheese comparison are already making you want to take a closer look at what Aldi's specially selected range delivers across more categories, the like button is how you tell this channel that these comparisons are worth continuing every week. One tap signals that this specific kind of evidence-based, category-by-category breakdown is what you want to see more of. Hit that like button right now. Because number 3 is where this comparison becomes personal for any senior who has been buying Costco's most trusted bakery product for years. And what the quality analysis found there is the most surprising result on this entire list. Number 3. Bakehouse Creations versus Kirkland. Signature Bakery. Kirkland signature bakery products carry a reputation that Costco's enormous production volumes and consistently low per-unit pricing have built across decades of member purchasing. The Kirkland croissant specifically has become one of the most recognized and most defended products in the entire Costco member community. Aldi's Bakehouse Creations bakery brand is less well-known. That lack of recognition is the reason the comparison produces such a strong response when it is presented to seniors who have been buying Kirkland bakery products without ever having tried the alternative. The Bakehouse Creations croissant uses a laminated dough process that produces the visible layering in the cross-section that distinguishes a genuinely made croissant from the compressed, dense version that cost reduction in the production process generates. The lamination layers in a properly made croissant are not simply visual, they are the structural feature that determines the eating experience. Each layer of butter-laminated dough separates during baking, creating the honeycomb interior and the shattering exterior crust that defines the croissant as a pastry category rather than simply a bread shape. A croissant that lacks proper lamination does not shatter when bitten, it compresses. The interior does not reveal distinct layers. It reveals a uniform, dense crumb that resembles enriched bread rather than laminated pastry. The Bakehouse Creations croissant shatters. The Kirkland croissant, at the production volume required to supply warehouse retail, produces results that are more variable. The butter content in the Bakehouse Creations formula is the specific quality indicator that produces the flavor difference in the finished product. Genuine butter in the lamination produces the rich, slightly nutty flavor in the finished crust that margarine and butter blend alternatives cannot replicate regardless of how precisely the production process executes the other steps. Blind tasting comparisons between Bakehouse Creations and Kirkland croissants, conducted by baking professionals and informal consumer panels, have produced results that former Aldi employees describe as the most surprising food quality comparison they have witnessed in any category. The Bakehouse Creations croissant wins, not in every comparison, but in enough of them, and with enough consistency among tasters who understand what distinguishes quality laminated pastry, that the result cannot be attributed to preference variation rather than quality difference. For seniors who have been driving to Costco specifically for bakery products, the Bakehouse Creations range represents a quality comparison that deserves a direct personal test before the next warehouse trip is scheduled. What is at number 2 is something that former Aldi employees describe as the comparison that surprises seniors most consistently. And it sits in a category where the Costco reputation is perhaps the strongest of anything in the warehouse. Number 2. Kirkwood versus Kirkland. Signature Rotisserie. Chicken. The Kirkland Signature Rotisserie chicken is perhaps the single most famous product in Costco's entire inventory. Its legendary status among Costco members is not accidental. The product delivers consistent quality, a genuinely impressive size, and a price point that Costco has maintained deliberately as a loss leader, because the rotisserie chicken is the purchase that brings members through the warehouse door for a specific and predictable reason. Comparing Aldi's Kirkwood chicken to the Kirkland rotisserie chicken requires acknowledging what the comparison is and what it is not. The rotisserie format is not directly comparable to Kirkwood's fresh and frozen chicken range. What the comparison reveals is something more foundational. The source quality, the processing standards, and the animal welfare specifications that determine the flavor, texture, and nutritional profile of the chicken before it ever reaches the cooking method that produces the finished product. Kirkwood chicken is sourced to specifications that former Aldi employees with supply chain knowledge describe as meaningfully higher than the average shopper assumes from a private label grocery brand at Aldi's price point. The sourcing standard produces a chicken flavor that holds up in direct comparison with Kirkland's rotisserie product when the cooking method is equalized. When both products are roasted at home under identical conditions, former employees who have conducted the comparison describe results that do not favor the Kirkland product by the margin that its legendary status would predict. The texture difference that most tasters note first is in the breast meat. Kirkland's rotisserie chicken produces breast meat that is consistently moist because the rotisserie cooking method self-bastes the bird throughout the cooking process. When Kirkwood chicken is prepared in a home oven using the same preparation principles, the source quality of the meat produces a comparable moisture and flavor outcome without the industrial rotisserie environment. The leg and thigh meat comparison is where Kirkwood's source quality advantage becomes most apparent. Dark meat carries flavor compounds that are determined by the diet, movement, and rearing conditions of the bird. Kirkwood's sourcing specifications prioritize those factors in a way that produces dark meat with the complexity and depth that differentiates genuinely well-sourced chicken from commodity production. For seniors who have been making the Costco trip specifically to access the Kirkland rotisserie chicken, the question worth asking is whether the same quality outcome is achievable at the Aldi that is closer to home, at a price that makes the trip cost less in fuel, time, and membership fee amortization than the warehouse visit requires. The answer, according to the people who have made both preparations and compared the results honestly, is more favorable to Kirkwood than the Kirkland reputation would suggest. One comparison remains, and former employees describe it as the product that makes seniors most uncomfortable about how long they have been buying the Costco version without knowing the alternative existed. Number 1. Barissimo versus Kirkland. Signature Coffee. The Kirkland Signature Coffee range is one of the most trusted private label coffee products in American retail. The Costco member who drinks Kirkland coffee has typically arrived at that choice after a deliberate quality evaluation and a cost comparison that produced a clear conclusion. Kirkland coffee delivers. The question that this comparison answers is not whether Kirkland coffee is good. It is whether Barissimo, Aldi's coffee brand, delivers the same or better quality at a price that makes the Costco membership cost and the warehouse trip unnecessary for the specific purpose of buying quality coffee. The blind comparison data is where the conversation becomes interesting. Independent coffee reviewers who have placed Barissimo and Kirkland ground coffee side by side without label information and evaluated them across aroma, flavor balance, body, finish, and overall preference have produced results that are more favorable to Barissimo than the brand recognition gap between the two products would predict. The medium roast comparison specifically, the format that the majority of daily coffee drinkers consume, produces results where Barissimo's balance and smoothness perform comparably to Kirkland's most comparable offering. The aroma evaluation is where Barissimo consistently performs most strongly against Kirkland in blind conditions. Aroma is the coffee quality dimension that most accurately predicts flavor delivery, because the volatile compounds responsible for aroma are the same compounds that produce the flavor experience in the cup. A coffee with rich, complex aroma in the dry grounds and during brewing will produce a rich, complex cup. A coffee with thin or flat aroma will produce a thin or flat cup regardless of how the extraction is managed. Barissimo's aroma performance in blind evaluations consistently rates above what the price and brand recognition would lead evaluators to predict. That aroma performance predicts the cup quality that produces the blind preference results. The cold brew concentrate that Aldi stocks under the Barissimo brand represents the comparison that produces the most decisive result. Cold brew extracts coffee compounds over an extended steeping period without the heat that drives the bitterness-producing oxidation that hot brewing introduces. The concentrate format delivers a lower acidity profile that is considerably more comfortable for seniors managing acid sensitivity or reflux. For the senior who has been making a Costco run to buy Kirkland coffee in bulk, the cold brew concentrate comparison specifically produces the result that former employees describe as the most likely to permanently restructure the coffee purchasing routine of any senior who tries it alongside what they currently buy. The concentration ratio is simple: 1 part Barissimo concentrate to 1 part water, milk, or milk. Alternative produces a cup with more depth, more smoothness, and more caffeine than any single-serve pod format or standard drip preparation. At Aldi's price for the Barissimo concentrate, the cost per cup comes in below what Kirkland's per-cup cost produces even before the Costco membership fee is factored into the calculation. Factor in the membership fee. Factor in the fuel cost of the warehouse trip. The Barissimo comparison does not simply win on cup quality. It wins on the total cost of getting that cup into the mug every morning, Former employees describe Barissimo as the Aldi brand that most consistently produces the permanent restructuring response in seniors who make the direct comparison. Not the interest response. Not the "I will try it sometime" response. We are talking about a permanent restructuring response. The specific behavior where a shopper tries the comparison once, confirms the result, and never returns to what they were buying before. That response happens because the product delivers something the buyer was not expecting at a price that makes the previous choice look like an active financial mistake rather than a reasonable decision made without full information. Full information is what this list exists to provide. 7 Aldi brands that have been quietly outperforming Costco's most trusted private label products across quality evaluations that most seniors have never seen presented in one place. That is the complete list, and now you have it. Thanks for watching. Tell us in the comments which of these 7 comparisons you are testing on your very next shopping trip, and whether there is a Costco purchase you are now reconsidering. Click the next video showing on the left right now to keep discovering every Aldi brand comparison that saves seniors money without costing a single unit of quality. And if you have not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss the next brand comparison that changes where your grocery budget goes.